could feel beauty rising on the breeze that shapes the stone, and I would ride upon the breeze that shapes the stone across the sky and beyond to that place where all is.
Okay, and that's just to show you how hot it is on any chafing for a poor dog. Imagine, the pads in his feet, his body. It's hot. It's hot out here.
And there's a lot of dogs chained as like guard dogs, and all they have is concrete. So I can't imagine how they survive that.
Today, welcome to For the Animals. Our TV show is on site. We're in Concord, New Hampshire, and I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. You're going to see two familiar faces. But my name is Liz Gaskey from Vermont Volunteer Services for Animals Humane Society, and actually you're going to see a few familiar faces here today. But right here we have...
I'm Pamela Dean. I'm also with Vermont Volunteer Services Humane Society, and I am also delighted to be associated with...
Hi, I'm Tamira Thane. I'm the founder and CEO of Dogs Deserve Better, and we work exclusively for chained and penned dogs to bring them into the home and family.
And you are on a 10-state tour of the United States.
Yes, I'm on a 10-state Capitol Doghouse tour where we are chaining up in front of Capitol buildings, like this one here in Concord, New Hampshire, and spending 8 hours there from 8 to 4 every day, Monday through Friday. So I'm on my next to last one. Tomorrow I do New York State, and then I'm done.
Where are you doing it in New York State tomorrow?
Albany. That's
Wow.
the capital, yeah. Wherever the capital is, that's where I go.
If you remember, it was probably about a year ago you did a show. And where were you then and where are you now in getting the word out?
Well, physically we were in Pennsylvania at that time, but in the last year we bought Michael Vick's former Bad News Kennels. And we actually moved our whole facility. Well, we worked out of my house before, but now we have a facility. And so we are transforming it to the Good News Rehab Center for chained and penned dogs.
That is an incredible achievement.
Yeah,
I can't wait to visit it.
It really is. I mean, right now it's still very small because we're working from the house and we have to raise a good amount of money to build. But we're still doing as many dogs as we can from the house. We're working with about 16 at a time right now, getting them house trained, obedience trained, socialized with humans, vetted, and then into new homes.
So for people that might not remember that,
Can you give a website address or some way for folks to contact you if they would be interested in donating, getting more information?
Definitely. You can come visit us too. We even have volunteer rooms upstairs where people can stay if they want to come and volunteer. So it's dogsdeservebetter.org is the website. But, Michael Vick, the property is where Michael Vick had the Bad News Kennels. And all the dogs there was 60-some dogs there, chained all through the woods. And then they were, the fighting pit where they were abused and then killed outside. I mean, so the property has quite a history to it.
are any of the dogs that are there now leftovers?
No, we have none of his dogs. They all went to other rescuers, and most of them did quite well, so that's awesome.
So of the 16 dogs, where did they come from?
All from chains and pens, all over the place. We pull them from reps or really cruel cases that we get word of, and we pull them into the center and get them fixed up.
So that would be another reason why if someone could contact you or get some information on what to do if you see an animal repeatedly never off the chain,
Yes.
or you have concerns, any concerns at all about the conditions, to get more information, contact.
Yeah, I mean, if they are really suffering, if they seem to be dying, you have to take action right away. Don't call us then, because, we can't rush right out there. You have to call your local animal control, call your local police, do whatever you can, even pick up that dog and take it to the vet yourself. We've been telling people with the summer heat stroke that's been going on, we've been having really bad cases of dogs dying. We told them any good Samaritan who takes a dog to the vet that isn't theirs, if they fully document the emergency situation, we will pay all the vet bills. Yeah. We don't want them dying. They're dying. It's ridiculous.
Relatedly, just as an aside, but it is very related to if you see a dog in a car, for instance, with the heat. I've noticed on a lot of the social networking sites what to do, because it's a scary one. Do I break the window? Am I going to get arrested in trouble? There's a lot of information out there with respect to all of these scenarios to protect, but we are the voice for them, and especially
We're all they have
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. You know, I love one of your signs here. It says, my grandfather did it, my father did it, break the chain. Let's talk about that.
We found that it's very generational. Most times, when somebody is treating their dog, it's because that's what their father did, and that's what his father did, and they just don't understand that it's not okay. So that's where the educational component comes in of what we do, because maybe some people really just don't know any better, and maybe they're willing to be educated. I think there are plenty that maybe aren't, but there are people who have been educated by what we do, and they just stop chaining them. And they either just won't have a dog, or they'll bring the dog inside, both of which are great.
I've personally known someone very close to me who had gotten involved with animal protection later in life, and meeting this person you would never know in a million years. But he said, we grew up in the family, and that's where the dog was. The family dog was outside on a chain, and and I hadn't thought about that until you just pointed that out. But I strongly believe there's so many people out there that do want little education and knowledge, and that isn't the norm. It's a domesticated animal. They in the house.
Yeah. Things have changed. I think when I was a child, the statistics said that 20% of the dogs lived inside and 80% lived outside. Now it's turned around, and 80% live inside and 20% live outside. So it's good news, and we are moving in a positive direction. We just need to, keep it going that way. Don't just stop now and let it continue to fester. Let's get rid of it.
In your brochure, and I like this. This is well put together. You have a picture of a little boy with a scar.
Yeah.
Dogs on chains, they become aggressive. That's their territory that they defend. Talk about that.
Well, they're not socialized with humans. They're 3 times more likely to bite. And most bites come from chained, unneutered males. And probably 80% of what we see out on chains is unneutered males. So they have a very high bite factor. And it's not about the breed. It's about how big these dogs are, how they are not socialized with humans. They see children, and most of the bites are children, because children are very innocent, and they run up to the dog thinking, let me just go pet the doggy, and the dog, just attacks them. They don't respect children as much, but it's because they haven't grown up with children. They haven't learned how to deal with children.
And they probably feel threatened.
Yeah, because the child runs toward them,
And the dog is absolutely defenseless on that chain. So just such an important point to emphasize it. It's not just a dog or an animal issue, as many do. It affects, our communities, our children.
I love your before and after pictures. That is,
That is worth just checking out check out the website just for that.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring.
We love to make videos about the dogs that come into the center, because if you can get their before pictures and then you just show them running through the field in joy, it just touches you so much, or they get a toy and they're throwing it up in the air. They've never had a toy before. Literally, some of them it takes 2 months before they even know what a toy is.
Tell me, is it difficult for you to go to a house and talk to them about the dog, or do you have it down now?
It's still difficult for me, because what happens depends more on them than you. If they're open and receptive, it can go really great. If they aren't, it can go really ugly. So you go into it never knowing what's going to happen, and that's scary.
It must be scary.
Yeah.
How do you get the animals out? What's your most
Effective.
We have people in our organization who are really more effective than I am, and that's because they're really good negotiators. They're very good. Like, they may go in offering a fence, say, hey, can we help fence your dog? But they kind of start working with them and talking to them, and in the end, the caretaker will say, just take them. I just don't want to deal with it. So that's really, I think, when you offer them something, you take away some of the defensiveness, and so then they're more willing to work with you.
We have a volunteer in Vermont, Catherine, who for 3 years 3 years, we'd go to this house. This poor dog lived on a chain. No socialization for the 3 years, every day. And this woman, physically, it was not easy for her. Would go there and feed the dog, and then eventually provide shelter and toys. And it's really putting yourself out. It's putting the effort, and it's not easy. I mean, we were talking too about how difficult it is to do what you're doing right now, but how important it is to get the words. And we were talking about, today is a weekday, and a lot of people work, but I'll bet you a lot of people would be here if they could. But the other side of that is people feel,
doing the demonstrations that I do, where you actually chain yourself to a doghouse, I mean, you kind of look a little stupid, and that's hard for people. It's very hard, and it was very hard for me, and it's still, I'm going to all these different cities now. I have to come up here. I got to be the brave one. I got to get out my doghouse and stand there by myself if I have to. So I understand that it's scary for people, but I just think that we need to start getting beyond our fear, because it's not about us anymore. It's about them, and they have no voice. We're the only voice they have, and we have to be here for them. Period.
Silent victims. You are so right. Yeah. And brave. Yeah. And visionary.
You got to get it done.
Can you tell me, have any states passed legislation?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Rhode Island just passed a law last month.
Did you say last month?
Last month, yes.
Love it. Because of your work?
No. Other people got it passed there, so I don't want to take the credit for it. That'll be more hate mail. I don't So no, other people totally did that on their own, and it's great. It's a 10-hour a day. They can only be chained for 10 hours a day. So see how they enforce it, but I think it's great to get something on the books.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah. And Delaware just passed too. They're still waiting for the governor to sign, but it got out of that both houses, and hopefully the governor will sign, and that one will be going too.
Anything like that in California or that county? Do you know?
California has a 3-hour bill, a 3-hour law in place. They have the best law in the country. Yeah. So
is this the whole state?
Yes.
Tell me what that is.
It says they can't be chained or penned for more than just chained. They can't be chained for more than 3 hours a day. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's the best one, and we still hear there's enforcement issues there, but we have to make sure our animal control officers are enforcing the law.
Right.
And now I think in instances like where California is, if I have a dog on a chain there and the animal control is not enforcing the law, I say get that animal control officer, 1,000 phone calls or 1,000 emails. They have to enforce the law. The law is there. We have to make them responsible for enforcing it.
That's right. And too many times we have law enforcement that has the ability, has the responsibility and the authority, and they don't look the other way. And that's very frustrating. I think there's so many people accountable for their job.
And yesterday when we were in Boston, there was a bill in committee to have mandatory training for their animal control officers. I guess they don't have to be trained now, so it can just be any Joe Schmo off the street or getting a government job or whatever, and they're not trained and they don't know how to do it. But if this bill passes, then they will have to get training, and the woman told us that the difference is night and day between the officers who get the training and don't. They're such better officers. So that's what we need, stuff like that, well-trained officers.
In our experience with VBSA and putting on seminars, humane seminars with respect to this issue, but among all issues involving animal cruelty, very often we have a full house and we get the cops, the police, the animal control, the constables, and they come in and, by the end of the day, these people, they were getting it, they really were. They were working with, they were all chatting with the humane folks, and it wasn't like everyone sitting on different sides. So it's such a matter of education and exposure, and there will always be the ones that don't want to know, that don't, but I think what you're doing is just the greatest thing.
How can we help you?
Work on the laws, I think. I think the most important thing that we can all do is stay on our state legislatures. Get bills in committee, and that's hard to do. And I know when I met you before, you were going up there all the time about bills. Keep on that, because once we get laws, then it's just about enforcing them, which is, you have a tool. You have a tool then. Even people are getting small town laws and small city laws and county laws. Those are great too, because if it gets the dogs off the chains in your area, great, and it's easier than the state level.
Okay, how about with your facility. Are you 501c3 now?
Yes.
So you
We've been a 501c3 for 10 years.
Okay, so contributions can be written out and made.
Yeah, I mean, we want to build a big, beautiful, state-of-the-art facility where our dogs can get the training they deserve. You know, they deserve the best, and right now we're doing the best we can, but it's not the best that they deserve.
I just had an idea. VDSA is helping to bring the Dog Whisperer Cesar Millan to Vermont. It's going to be on October 20th. It's in Burlington at the Sheridan, but he also gives grants. Definitely, I would look into that if I were you. But you know, you might want to talk with him about doing an appearance down there.
Oh, yeah, that would be a great idea.
Yeah, but could you, because Andrea can put this on the screen for us, give us your contact information and who checks should be made out to?
Checks will be made out to Dogs Deserve Better. The website is dogsdeservebetter.org. Our address is 1915 Moonlight Road, Smithfield, Virginia, 23430. And our phone number is 757-357-9292.
And you accept guests?
Guests? Oh yes, yeah. We,
Human
you
ones,
know, we
two-legged
have,
ones.
we have like 3 volunteer bedrooms at a time. So as long as they're not booked, you know, we welcome volunteers for a couple of days, come down and work with the dogs, get them socialized, work on their obedience training, house training. It's great.
I think that's wonderful. That's a great idea. We just went up to Dog Mountain, the Stephen Hunick gallery property.
Yeah.
And
St. John's Wood.
yeah, and it was in memory of Glenn's husband who passed.
yeah.
And they have the most beautiful facility. They have a dog chapel, but people bring pictures of their animals that have passed and put them all around this beautiful chapel. And they have a pond where dogs are welcome to come and run free and play at. So just a thought, you know,
Yeah.
a place that welcomes other animals.
Well, we actually plan to do something with, you know, the sheds that Vic used are still there. So we want to make those into a memorial. And we want people to be able to do something similar to that there.
to turn evil into.
Yes, you know.
Is there anything else that you think of either?
I just wanted to add one last, to go back to the laws and the legislation, as Tammy emphasized how important that is. And we were just chatting about how California actually has a 3-hour,
Yes.
3-hour. I just learned that. I know they tend to be one of the more progressive
They are,
states,
yeah.
as is Rhode Island, but how powerful that is, I can't stress enough. Being the first state to do that, but when you can go to your legislator, and that as well can be very intimidating. You know, in any state, you know, here where we do a lot of work in Vermont, it's, you know, a little more less formal. But I've been in Albany and wherever it is, they're there working for you. And when you have these other laws to, you know, to point to, and it legitimizes it.
Yeah.
If it needs, you know, it doesn't need among us, but it adds another layer of that.
Absolutely.
Say, look, this is what's happening here. This is the way of the future. We need to follow along and do similar things.
Or I challenge you to be on a chain for 24 hours and then come back to me and tell me this law isn't important.
Good.
We just talked to a rep who was here today, and when we told him that Rhode Island just passed a bill, he was much more interested suddenly. So, you know, you have a state in your neck of the woods now.
Right.
Use it as best you can, you know.
Well, I've got to thank you very much for
Thank
doing
you,
this
guys.
and all the work you
Everything
do.
Thank you for
so
having me on the show. I
inspiring.
appreciate it.
And we'll get you back to Vermont.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you again for watching For the Animals, and join us again next week.
There was a moment when all was known. You could feel beauty rising on the breeze that shapes the stone, and I would ride upon the breeze that shapes the stone across the sky and beyond, to that place where all is known. When I could fly, when I could fly down that road.